of that authority, Erin.
And Jackie, if the Trump administration ultimately loses this case, what would happen then next?
Yeah, Erin, it would basically knock out a major pillar of President Trump's effort to reshape global trade. Some tariffs would remain in place, like his sector-specific tariffs on, foreign steel and aluminum, for example. But the administration has argued in court that as it relates to his country-specific tariffs, that a rule against them in this case could undermine negotiations with other countries. The government has also said that it could force them to refund some import taxes that have already been collected, Erin.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Appreciate your time. A federal judge blocked a Trump administration effort to speed up deportations of some migrants. Right now, expedited removal only applies to those detained within 100 miles of the U.S. border. The judge slammed the effort to expand fast-track deportations further into the country. She cited the Fifth Amendment as guaranteeing due process. And a Social Security whistleblower who sounded the alarm on the Department of Government Efficiency and its alleged mishandling of the American sensitive information says he is involuntarily resigning from his post. Chief Data Officer Charles Borges filed a whistleblower complaint Tuesday alleging that Social Security data from more than 300 million Americans was put at risk by DOJ officials. In his resignation letter, Borges claims that since drawing attention to the security breaches, the agency has taken action that makes his duties, quote, impossible to perform legally and ethically, end quote. He also says this has caused him physical, mental, and emotional duress, and that after he filed the complaint, he's faced exclusion, isolation, and hostile work environments. The SSA declined to comment on his resignation or the allegations made in his resignation letter. A new report shows rent in San Francisco keeps going up, confirming what many residents already know. Christian Kafton looks at what's causing those prices to increase.
New data indicates San Francisco's reputation for sky-high rents is well-deserved. A new report from Apartment List shows rents in San Francisco have shot up 11.5% over this time last year, and about 1.25% in just the last month. That puts the average two-bedroom rental in the city at a little more than $3,600 per month. Newer residents of the city say what they've seen backs up those high prices.
We found that everything was close to the same price, so we just kind of kept looking until we found something nice, and then went there, because you can get something a lot worse for a very similar price, so that was interesting.
The data say the sharpest increases are in the urban core, neighborhoods like Mission Bay and China Basin, with a lot of new construction not subject to rent control.
So for me, that's the problem, is we can't stay here. We'll have to leave eventually, because every year they will just keep going up.
San Francisco realtor Kevin Ho said there are a number of factors at play here, including increased post-pandemic demand, renters with rent control staying in their units longer, and an influx of new workers drawn to the growing AI industry.
You have a city that's coming out of the pandemic finally. You have reduced inventory because people can't build it fast enough. And you have rent control. It's no wonder why rents have really increased.
He said the high prices for rentals may actually push some renters into being buyers.
That's the interesting thing that we're seeing, is that people are making that calculation and deciding it's time to buy again, especially because condominiums have been softer recently.
Some San Francisco residents said they've already come to the same conclusion.
Buying has actually been, a bit better situation, except for interest rates, of course, but prices have been better for buying, but for renting.
More than 800,000 rideshare workers could unionize. Governor Newsom and legislative leaders say they'll support legislation to provide a pathway to unionization for gig workers at companies like Uber and Lyft. SEIU California would represent the workers. The bill would establish a legal framework for the rideshare drivers to have a chance to join the union. The union could then negotiate for better wages, benefits, and protections.
We're proving that a workers' first economy isn't just a dream, it's something we can build together. And as a labor movement, we know that real progress doesn't come from tech companies or politicians alone. It comes from workers standing united, demanding more.
Another bill would reduce the cost of providing rideshare services in the state. Right now, rideshare drivers are required to carry a $1 million in coverage for accidents caused by other drivers who are either uninsured or underinsured. That cost is then passed down to the riders. The agreement in that bill would reduce that to $60,000 in uninsured motorist coverage and $300,000 per accident. Both bills have passed one chamber, and they're in the committee stage in the other chamber. Leon County deputies in Nevada say they've never seen anything like it, a statewide server outage tied to a cyber attack forcing law enforcement to go back to pen and paper. From traffic stops to 911 calls, they're documenting everything by hand, and they warn catching up could take months. Emily Benito has the story.
Lyon County Sheriff Brad Pope says that in the over 20 years working in Lyon County, he has never seen anything like this.
We've had outages, whether they've been the report management system's gone down, but not at a statewide level where we're unsure of how long it's going to be down.
Sheriff Pope says that deputies are still able to do their jobs, but they're limited. They can't access state servers or agency records from the DMV, but they can still conduct traffic stops and perform arrests.
The community is more affected, through the fingerprints, applying for sheriff's cards, background checks, etc. And once the state server's up and running, we'll have a lot of catching up to do, but we'll get there.
Sarah Celadon is a public safety communications dispatcher at Lyon County Sheriff's Office, and she says that she hasn't taken notes like this since high school.
I haven't had to write this much since high school because everything is on the computer.
She says that they are working as fast as they can to get deputies where they need to be and record all of the information from the 911 calls.
We do log absolutely everything that is said over the radio so that we can come back and reference it for the officer, deputies, reports, and things like that. So anything that is said over the air, we are documenting by hand.
When notes are taken by computer, it doesn't seem as strenuous as when you see the physical pages laid out in a stack that just keeps getting bigger.
So this is all yesterday's paperwork. This includes things like traffic stops and any emergencies or anything like that, medical calls and things like that. This is from the day before. And this is from the day before that. And this is half of the day of the first day.
Celadon says that inputting these notes into the system once things are up and running again could take months.
When it comes time to transpose all of this, it might be a month from now. And we have to read each other's handwritings. And when you're writing fast, it might be hard to decipher.
She says this cyber attack has had a huge impact on their operations, but that they have adapted and overcome.
Be patient. Be patient with us. We're trying our best, and we will get you the help as soon as we can.
Your time right now is 7:40, and we check weather at KCRA every 10 minutes. So, Kelly, what's going on?
Everything's looking good. In fact, we're taking a live look outside in Truckee here. You can see I-80 moving along smoothly. Blue sky overhead, and it's expected to stay that way. We may see just a